Hello friends, this is B. Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll talk about a new fountain pen that I just purchased, and I got this from Pen Gallery. It's a collaboration between Esterbrook and TheCoffeeMonsterzCO. When it comes to Esterbrook as a brand, the only item that I own from them is actually this one. I got this a few years ago and it is their B-page holder. I'm not necessarily their customer demographic when it comes to their pens because I find that the pen designs are too colorful or too loud. They do offer solid color options, but it's not calling out to me. I follow Helen here on YouTube and use some of her products such as the stickers and the washi tape. And I also enjoy her flip-throughs of her Hobonichi cousin, even though I don't own one. So when she released the news that she's having a collaboration for a fountain pen, I was curious. I'm lucky that I have friends who use Esterbrook fountain pens, and I wanted to see first how the nib performs before making a purchase. I do have here a swatch of the different nibs. So my dear friend, hello Pravina, she brought her pens during our journal meetup and I've tried different types. So what we have here is a journaler, extra fine, fude, fine, and a medium. And just to throw in the mix, compared it against a fine nib of a Pelican because I was debating whether to get a journaler or a fine nib. During the time of its release, I think it was sometime in April, I was not fast enough and it got sold out. I actually moved on, and then last week when I visited Sizipli, which is a stationery shop here in Malaysia, I was actually looking to see if there's any new Blackwing pencil releases, but instead I saw this pen. So I had to also check with Pen Gallery if they have it too, because I wanted to see the grip section. The pen looks like this, and by the way, the packaging, she went literally all out. Pen looks like this. I've already inked this up, and if you've been following me for a while, every time I have a new pen, I would usually ink it up with Pilot Iroshizuku Fuyu Syogun. Inside the pen, you have sticker sheet and then cartridge. So this is standard international, and then it also comes with a card, and it is a QR code, and when you scan that, that will lead you to their website to register like for the warranty. The pen model is based on Esterbrook's ST, and what I like about this collaboration is the minimal approach, like less is more. The cap ring, where you see that Esterbrook, as well as this part, came from Carolina Pen Company. If you're not familiar with the brand, you've probably heard of the name Jonathan Brooks, or maybe Primary Manipulation Fountain Pens of Leonardo. It's made by him. I'll insert a photo of the pen that is made with this part called caffeine withdrawals, and that's the closest I've seen when it comes to coffee without reading any of the marketing materials or story of the pen. So to see that on this one is actually a great surprise, like you're hitting two birds with one stone. And prior to this recording, I actually hold it like that, and if you cover the cap ring from afar, it looks like Sailor King of Pen, just saying. I'm also aware of the issue about this part right here where the gold foiling comes off. Hopefully it doesn't happen because I just had this pen. If it does occur, because I'm still observing it for that, I'll just go follow the instruction from Esterbrook's website. For size comparison of pens, the closest that I can compare this in terms of its like shape and look would be this one. So I mean, there is a little difference in terms of the clip, but this is the only one that I have that's close enough for this pen. So as you can see, when it comes to the size, it is bigger. And then if I remove the cap, the nib is also big as well. And for Esterbrook and Coffee Monsters, there's also that detailing of that cute emoji face. And as you can see, both are in a shade of gold color, but this is using a gold nib. This is using a steel nib. So if you're new into fountain pens, when you see gold color on the nib, it doesn't necessarily translate as the nib itself made of gold. And then when it comes to like closing of the pen, Platinum has their slip and seal technology. For Esterbrook, this one you have to feel the pen itself, because when you try to close it, there is some resistance to it, which is present amongst all of their pens. And I guess that's their way of keeping the pen wet so that when you try to open it up and then use it, it still performs as it is. So this pen comes with a converter. They use Standard International, and an example of pen brands that uses Standard International, it's usually the Western brands. And to give you examples for pens that I own, here's the closest one to me. This is by Y Studio. It also uses the same thing. So it just is different because this part right here on the other one, it says Esterbrook. And then another example for Standard International, Kaweco, but you cannot use that converter because typically Kaweco pens are small. I have another one, which is this, and this is from Tools to Live By. So this is also using Standard International. I don't have a converter here. So if I want to use the converter, I can just switch things around. For Japanese brands, the ones that I'm aware of, which I also own, Traveler's Company uses Standard International, but that converter cannot fit because it's a bit small. Similar size to Kaweco. And then Kakimori, the Frost, also uses Standard International because the nib is made by Schmidt. And I'll also, let me share with you a writing sample, I suppose. I have a tiny notebook here, the Hobonichi from the Porter tiny one. And just to show you, this is the fine nib. So I'll just bring it closer. So it is great right out of the gate in terms of nib performance, and it also does that sound, which I also enjoy. Maybe for some people they don't, but I like it. So right out of the box, it works. And if you still want getting these, I think retailers have restocked them. Here in Malaysia, the other location would be Sizipli, because I like this one. There's combination of the light and the dark colors. The one on Sizipli, I'll try to insert a photo. It is more of the milk, the white color section. And then in terms of the overall color, it says on their website, creamy tan, more on creamy beige. And before we end the video, I have this. I didn't know that Pen Gallery still has them. So the collaboration has the pen, the blotter paper, as well as the ink. The ink, because it's a shade of brown, I didn't buy that. And then for the blotter paper, the other blotter paper that I own would be from Jacques Urban, and same size because she uses Hobonichi Cousin. And oh, it comes with different designs. I didn't really look the other details on the website because I was only focused on the pen. So this one would be great if you're using an A5 size or a traveler's regular size, I suppose. And then this one, this is perforated, so comes in 2-1. And then, so all in all, 5 pieces of blotter paper. The other design looks like this. Keep creating. And then you have this one. And then this, she uses a pocket notebook, so that's probably why there's something like this, which is good for me because I mostly use A6 notebooks. And then these ones I can just cut in half or maybe cut it to size like that if I want it like fitted for traveler's notebook. The only one that I have left in terms of A5 would be my 5-year. It's a great collaboration. If you have any questions that I haven't mentioned on this video, just comment down below. Thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you on the next one.